So I'm going to do the little opening to set the scene for you before we get into the list of esteemed speakers who will share with you on what we do. My focus is to share some of the key considerations we need to look at in terms of building or having a smart construction industry. First, before I start off, let me introduce two organizations that I work with. Firstly, it is the Global Robot Cluster. So the Global Robot Cluster is based out of Daegu City in Korea. We are a network of 22 countries, 28 clusters, well, some countries have more than one clusters, and we focus a lot around the use of robotics in the different sector, more importantly, the use of AI in robotics. That makes us a lot more interesting because the application of robotics, not just in the manufacturing space, construction, education, retail, healthcare, energy, and you name it. AIBotics at the different industry space, we have been playing a very key role in working together. The second organization that we belong to is AIRA, the International Alliance of Robotic Association. This is based out of Hangzhou in China. We work very closely with a lot of the robotic associations in China, the different provinces, and more importantly, we try to share technology around how best we can bring technology into China and from China out into the rest of the world. We do a lot of activities. APARA is an association that's been formed within Singapore itself, but our membership stretch across the region. So let's talk about the construction industry. The construction industry is actually one of the oldest industry around, and we actually adopt some of the very traditional technology. Fortunately, unfortunately, it is probably one of the industry left that's very lagging behind in the adoption of technology, particularly digital technology, AI, and the full suite of automation. I've been to many conferences and shared the technology, shared the use of technology, and I find that there is definitely a lot of room for us to consider. Now, why is it that we're not able to bring smart and sustainable plans into the construction industry? Because part of it is awareness of what's available. The other part, of course, is really how to ensure the effective and efficient use of technology to support business. So I encourage all construction developers to think and listen to some of the technologies that's available and how can we adopt that to support your business. Technology is advancing very fast. There's no doubt. I guess most of you have heard of ChatGPT. So this is a chart that shows the different waves of technology that's coming out. The latest wave, of course, is to look at AI and IoT coming together, drones, virtual reality, and more importantly, the adoption of clean technology in the different space. Now, you see the curves, right? The ones towards the left are flatter. It takes a longer time to adopt. But the new technologies that's coming up now, now are actually having a very steep curve and adoption is taking place very fast. If I look at ChatGPT, which most of you have heard of, within less than 6 months, 9 months by now, we have millions of users adopting the technology. So what we're seeing is that as technology becomes more emergent, the adoption rate is also faster and higher. What does that mean to construction industry? What does it mean to you as good business users, business managers, to consider the use of adopting technology, particularly innovative technology that will support your business? There are many, many considerations. Efficiency and effectiveness is definitely one of them because of the cost of materials, the cost of labor, the availability of labor, and so on and so forth. But more importantly, you also have to take into consideration the human factor. It is not just so straightforward to say that I replace human factor with technology. It is also important for you to consider how technology fits into your process, your workflow. And I'll dive a bit into that later on when I show you more examples. What is key is that besides the whole economic consideration, you also must take into account the ethical use of technology. And that brings about a bigger and broader discussion on why that's the case. I'd like to bring your attention to this particular journal that's been published, this particular documentation that's been published, and it talks about the fact that around the world, more and more construction business are seriously looking at technology and how technology can be adopted. We need to start to follow the trend. We need to start to understand how technology can be adopted, and we do not want to be left behind. I guess if I look at the Thai market alone, huge opportunity to look at the adoption of technology to bring to market a lot faster. Some of you may have heard of 3D printed houses. Now that's a very exciting space, right? When I saw that, and more importantly, when I saw a business review by CBS last year, how a house can be built in double quick time, cheaper, and specific to the design of the house owner. I was quite excited. Last year, we hosted a webinar where we have experts from US, from Europe, and from Asia to talk about adopting some of this technology to be put in place. The adoption of technology in the construction industry is not just one piecemeal area. This is a metric that shows you all the different technology that's available to you as business users, as construction developers, to consider how you can actually gain a competitive edge in your business. I won't go through all of this, right? As you can tell, there's a lot of opportunity for you to leverage technology to serve your purpose. Of course, this is also readily available material on the internet that you can check out. When we talk about AI, when we talk about automation, we talk about robotics, it centers upon the fact that it can actually support you from your current applications that you look at right at the bottom here, right? Oops, do I have the banner? No. Okay, so all the blue boxes below, from project management to supply chain to site management and so on and so forth, all the way to look at how new business designs, collaborative models can be put in place with technology. What's important, if I look at a very complex diagram, most of you are familiar with BIM, right? And if I look at this whole stretch from the ideation and planning of a property all the way up to the maintenance side, there are many, many different areas where technology can support you, where innovation can be effective in helping you with your project management. Now, this report is available from Berger, so you can Google Berger, right, and you can read the full details of what they are looking at. Innovation in technology and the different considerations are readily available to you today to seriously consider. Of course, what's important is you must have a roadmap. It cannot happen tomorrow. It cannot happen tomorrow, I emphasize that. You need to have a roadmap, a journey on how you want to adopt some of these considerations to put in place for your business, for you to make construction smarter and smarter over time. So you need to think about the various technologies available, read up the Berger report, that will give you some ideas. You need to create your own journey and how you want to be competitive in your local market. I'm just going to end off with this one slide, and I'll show you a video that will be very interesting for you to look at. Now, some of you may recognize this individual, Gary Kasparov. I used to play chess during my high school. I love Gary because he's one of the chess masters. But in the 90s, he was beaten by the computer. The world chess champion master, beaten by the computer. He didn't give up. He continued studying and understand how AI technology could be so well. And he came up with one conclusion that I'd like to share with you. He believed that we do not need less technology. Because technology will always be there, technology will always be emerging, there will always be new technology. What we need is better humans. Better humans who can understand technology and know how to leverage technology for our own personal benefit. We need smarter humans to manage innovation. And that is a very important message that I'd like to share with all of you. I just want to end off with this one last quote. I do not believe AI will replace us in our job. Personally, I do not believe that. But I also believe that the person who knows AI will replace you because he will have an advantage by understanding the technology, by understanding the innovations AI can bring to you to take over somebody who's ignorant about technology. So with that, I'm going to thank you for your listening, and I've got a short video I like to play, and you can see what is possibly available for you in adopting technology. This is a YouTube video, so you can actually go to YouTube and pull it out. Let's play the video.
At its most basic, the metaverse is a virtual reality space that allows people from all over the world to interact with each other and the metaverse itself. Currently in its infancy, industries all over have begun testing out its capabilities. So we thought we'd ask, how could the metaverse impact the future of construction? Augmented and virtual reality have already found their way into construction with things like BIM project proposals, reviews, clash detections, and much more. A metaverse would build on these capabilities by providing a testing ground to simulate real-world tasks. Contractors could even run build phase simulations to determine the best fit scenario, balancing labor, materials, machinery, and other key factors. Once built, these buildings could also be digitized as digital twins, not just on their own, but as a network of assets. Simulated tasks could run in this controlled digital universe, meaning less disruption and the analysis of infinitely more scenarios than could ever be replicated in the physical world. Examples could be testing 5G in an urban environment or sound acoustics of a space. And as the Internet of Things becomes more of a reality, with more common technologies connected together, the metaverse could be used as a visual guidebook and data monitoring platform, further analyzing IoT data for things like smart energy grids, connected farms and businesses, and driverless cars and advanced traffic monitoring. And as we've seen in the growth of virtual design and construction, building a structure or project in a 3D space has had many benefits, providing a visual example of the built environment in early design phases, ultimately giving owners, designers, and contractors the ability to meet within the space, evaluating everything from light placement to traffic flow. It could also aid in city planning and infrastructure reviews, as our digital and physical worlds continue to merge as one. Engineers and architects could even someday work with the VR headset within the metaverse, building the plans within the digital universe. Even though the metaverse is a ways out, these possibilities could have great improvements in efficiency and allow the industry to evolve into system thinkers, first in a 3D environment before any real-world construction is started. The expanding technology could also be a great way to bring the younger, tech-savvy generation into the construction workforce. For more construction content you might dig, subscribe to Constructible.
So I share you another source, Constructible. So for those of you who are not familiar, Constructible has a good resource of materials and ideas, innovation that you can consider to adopt in your respective industry. I wanted to show this metaverse video because it gives you some idea from end to end, from planning, architectural planning, all the way to maintenance and city planning, city adoption, maintenance. What can technology do? AI, robotics, automation, metaverse, all emerging technology, they're all here for you to consider. And there are many factors that you need to know. Let's see how they can fit into your BIM design and adopt them accordingly. So with that, I thank you for your time.